is Our Lady so important for priests? My own experience of discerning my vocation began with Our Lady at Lourdes, and then praying her rosary was really when I first thought of being a priest. And so I've always felt that she's been very close to my priestly vocation. And Our Lady is always there for the priest, as she was always there for her son during his life. She was there at the beginning of his public ministry at the wedding feast of Cana, as well as being there, of course, throughout his hidden life. And then she's there at the cross, when most others have run away. And Our Lady is always there for the priest. Sometimes she's there quite discreetly, but she's always there. And she's always there at the moments of the cross, when it seems like no one else is there with you. She is always with us, always helping us, always our mother. And she was given to John, one of the first priests, as his mother. And she went to his home. Literally, it says that John took her into his own personal things. That's a literal translation of the words of the Gospel. But it also makes sense to think that taking her into his own personal things meant taking her into his home. And there's a great tradition that at a certain point, John and Our Lady went to Ephesus in what's now Turkey. And there's a shrine there called the House of Mary, where it seems they lived for some time. And it's helpful to read the Acts of the Apostles with that relationship in mind. That when we see John preaching with Peter, working miracles, we can think that at the end of each day he went back to Our Lady, to his home with her, and maybe talked about the day with her, asked her prayers for certain people he'd met, and learnt from her so many things. We can also think about St. Luke talking to Our Lady before he wrote his Gospel, finding out all of the details of the birth of Jesus. And also that wonderful episode when, as a young adolescent, or 12-year-old rather, Jesus was lost and then found in the temple. And so Our Lady helps the priest every day of his ministry. By talking to her, he understands better her son, and she helps him every day in his ministry. And she especially helps through her intercession. There's a wonderful reflection of St. John Henry Newman when he's looking at the passage at the wedding feast of Cana, when Jesus says to his mother, "My hour has not yet come." And yet, he works a miracle at her request, even though his hour has not yet come. And so Newman says, well, if he worked a miracle at her request before his hour had come, imagine what miracles he works for her now that his hour has come, the hour of his death and resurrection and ascension into heaven. And so Newman's reflection is that we can ask Our Lady now for even greater miracles, because the hour of her son has come. And the priest especially can do that. The priest can turn to her in his need for his ministry. She is his mother in a special way, and she can help him be a father for the souls put into his care, especially through the prayer of the Holy Rosary. The priest can use the Holy Rosary to entrust many, many needs and intercessions to Our Lady, maybe offering each decade for a particular person, a particular intention. The priest can also be aware of Our Lady in the Holy Mass. She was present at the foot of the cross, and so since that event of the crucifixion is made present in the Mass, in a sense Mary's there too. And certainly she's there through her prayer now as she prays for us in heaven. And there's also a beautiful tradition that the first person Jesus went to after his resurrection was his mother. It's not recorded in the Gospels, But many saints from the early centuries have thought that the first person he went to was his mother, to embrace her. And the tears that she shed at his passion were now tears of joy as she held him once more in her arms. And we can always go to Our Lady in our moments of pain and our moments of joy for her to hold us. As priests, we are her sons.